I'm not sitting on both fronts of like Jesus Christ, who's down here, and I'm sitting on Jesus Christ. In the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, I'm not working on a project. According to the project that I read wrong, members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints will be translated to heaven's glory, and I'm standing in the presence of Supreme ELOHIM and Supreme Yahweh in your highest supernal heaven. If anybody wonders who is Supreme ELOHIM, who is Supreme Yahweh, or who is where is supernal heaven, highest supernal heaven, may Mike send the message to me and I might eventually reply, or may Mike inform themselves in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints by the authorities in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, maybe by elders or by high priests or high authorities of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Now, Ascension to heaven was never described in the Bible. Someone already recorded in the New Testament, in the book of Acts of the Apostles, in chapter 1, verse 9, for example. But there are also many more verses. I am actually inviting all those who are members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints to help me to be elected on the General Board of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints about the Forum of First Presidency of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, as I'm unequivocally administering Ascension to members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints to the highest heaven in this now time. This is due time now of Lord Jesus Christ. We are pondering about how can we utilize the venue. Now we are in Regent Street, it's in London, royal capital of England, in Eventual, just at the lower floor, and street level. And I'm inviting all those who are not members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints to be baptized in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, to be translated into heaven's glory, and ascend into the presence of ELOHIM, Super Yahweh, into the highest realm. We have that option to be kind and to liberate one another in this military system that in Thomas and Moses. When Thomas and Moses took over after the Hindu, and the Hindu took over after President Harald Abraham. When Harald Abraham took over after Edward Benson, and you see that it was already like 25 years of history. So we need to do somewhat better. In episode, we had his celebration of freedom. So we just do a lot of freedom what we have. And yet at the same time, we need to do something else to Ascension and move into heaven as the promotion is really sort of correctly to die and to kill all men into different sorts of splinters of gentle death or soft death or sweet death or eternal war death or eternal illnesses. So what we actually would like to say in this time, we would like to say only about what is most beautiful, most glorious, and most supreme, and that's the ascension to heaven. Anything else is carnal as supreme and not as supernal. Ascension to heaven has been proposed, for example, by Elohim Yahweh as they spoke to Adam and Eve. I'm sure that Adam and Eve was excited for ascension to heaven. And if I remember from the scriptures well, there was the seventh generation of posterity of Adam, one ascending. His name was Enoch, and according to Joseph Smith, and maybe he was seeing some more testimonies, I was seeing some more testimonies, and I myself would like to add powerful testimony that Enoch and his great city ascended into the heaven. Approximately, now I'm trying to get the quote when was that happening. So that was approximately, I'm thinking about 1,100 years. It is 1,100 years more. So approximately 1,000 years. No, it will be maybe 3,000 years. 3,000 years. 3,000 years approximately before Jesus Christ was born. Enoch ascended. 3,000 years before Jesus Christ was born. It could be also 2,800 years before Jesus Christ was born, and Baksay and his great city with him. We also have messages about Moses that he from Mount Nebo ascended, and before the first resurrection began, Moses was appearing to Jesus Christ Mount of Transfiguration. We thought it might be helpful in this time for members of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints to believe in Ascension if we ponder about Transfiguration of Jesus Christ. As Jesus Christ was personally 32 years old, Jesus Christ was transfigured on the mount and showing his eternal glory of his Father Elohim to Peter, James, and John. And there Moses and Elias descended from heaven and was conversing with Jesus about the ascension of Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ was about to accomplish at that time. I testify that Jesus Christ ascended to heaven and that those men that are baptized in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, the men, women, and children that are baptized in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints may be translated to heaven's glory and ascend to heaven. And I testify that the baptism in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is the gate to the only kingdom of heaven and earth, and it's the gate unto translation to heavenly glory and ascension. So for each that individual that is baptized in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, we have here also the other information, and that's the word of wisdom. We discovered that the word of wisdom is important for man to recognize that the person has been chosen by God and eventually was also chosen by those who have the authority to preach the gospel and administer and organize the gospel of Jesus Christ by, for example, laying on of hands or conferring the blessing of salvation upon the heads as well as straight into the soul to save the soul. How can we recognize if anybody is really in desire to ascend to heaven, or if anybody is chosen to be translated to heaven or to ascend to heaven? Men might observe what the individual does eat and drink. So that might be very easy for those who are wealthy to learn to be vegans and to abstain from alcohol, coffee, tobacco, or hot drinks, like hot chocolates or any sorts of pork or beef or chicken or maybe of such sorts of cakes that are the pork pie or beef pie. Yeah, it might be possible for us to recognize that it is a true doctrine to abstain from alcohol because the police officers are controlling how much of alcohol has been drunken. I mean, they are warm. The Jesus Christ was drinking wine, it's true, and the Jesus Christ was instructing Adam and Eve to partake only of those heads that are pleased unto the sight of God and good for the sight of good for thanksgiving. It's also true. Really is in Bible in Old Testament with prudent and thanksgiving. There's Joseph Smith and the Doctrine and Covenants of Jesus Christ in section 89. Now we have one more subject, and that's the equity and equality of the household of heaven on earth, the household of God on earth, as if Jesus Christ was second time already among us. When we think about wedding and wedding receipts, in Garden of Eden, Adam and Eve were in perfect wedding, and they was perfectly equal. Adam was, according to divine design, to preside and to provide, but provided it was already, so it was so easy. And then we have here Eve. She was about to care for children, and there is not much written about care for children until Adam and Eve was partaking of that fruit that was forbidden. Now, Adam and Eve was about to organize their own garden, similar to the Garden of Eden, and they were still in the ground to have that. Eventually, there were seven also flocks of beasts to have also some of that. So, if you would like to be most healthy, I think that we shall administer equality and equity of the household of heaven as Jesus Christ, the second time already among us. And all those who are members of Jesus Christ, like saints, especially the European looking, and would like to live in Utah, in US, shall be accepted there to Utah in US. Those other races may eventually be so lucky that we might organize in each continent where anciently the race was created, that they might have such a similar contingent as Utah or as the United States of America, and therefore that there will also have some peace there. Or perfect peace, yes, the Americans was some of their perfect peace experiencing. I remember now there the Americans was having actually, so I'm Slovak citizen, so I actually was growing under the pressure of the sorts of Soviet military and also the American forces from the side of Ramstein and from the military bases in Germany. But the pressure was not great. We had like lots of liberty. There's a great friendship between Slovaks and Russians because I was Slavian forefathers, and I was already 40 years after the World War as I was born. The Cold War was actually that the Slovaks was together in Russia, oppressed by first president Ceausescu Saints, and was actually prepared to fight the positions of the United States of America and the Ramstein or elsewhere. Didn't happen to the end, but the Gentle Revolution in 1989. I remember that before the Gentle Revolution in Prague, when students was actually with the flowers trying to win a victory for Czechoslovak Socialist Republic to become Czechoslovak Federative Republic, and religion might be some more freely preached, and there might be some more religious freedom from the terror of first president Ceausescu, I think. That was happening really, and shortly before that time, I was permitted by the United States of American government and by the Soviet government to leave the Czechoslovak Socialist Republic to German uh, Federative Republic. There in German Federal Republic in Hamburg, I was first time visiting the chapel of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and it was about 12 years later that I was also baptized in that same chapel in Hamburg in Germany, and I was also serving full-time proselytizing mission and received certificate service honor by one of the missionary colleagues of my Baptist, Dieter Robert Anton Manson. His missionary colleague, John Lawrence Manwaring, was my mission president. We ran from German mission. They was together serving in North German mission after the Second World War. It was maybe in the 50s. And I was so pleased that as I was born, I was already third generation of the members of the Church of Jesus of Latter-day Saints. So it was Barbara Winter's husband, President Winter, who was presiding over Neighbours temples that were dedicated by President Hinckley. After the I was an embassy president, President Jensen was receiving such wonderful recommendation, and I was there viewing a dedication of the Naval Temple, dedication of President Hinckley, and then President Winter also was seated as a future president of the temple, and if I remember well, it's reality and the truth, so if anybody would like to check, I'm really working on a project, so members of the Church of Jesus of Latter-day Saints might be translated to heaven, glory, and ascend to heaven in this time. That's the difference from there what he has been until now preached. Since Joseph Smith members was eventually dying or was killed and then buried or just left behind and was eventually hated upon or was just the bodies were decomposed. Now it changed as I took up also Baksay and preaching. I'm preaching the equality of the household of heaven as Jesus Christ. Second time already among us, word of wisdom of exemplary salvation, so we might have free food to the atonement of Christ and by the obedience to laws and our son of the gospel. And I believe that Jesus Christ atoned for me. We have it possible to ascend to heaven while we are still in relatively young age, approximately 33 years of age. So this is such a wonderful life for youth of the Church of Jesus Christ, listening to for children, for their parents, they might not have need to pass through any sorts of um, hatred or any sorts of ignorance to the back to the reality that Jesus Christ is sent to heaven age 33. But if they will really be concerned about the reality of the Ascension of Jesus Christ and Transfiguration of Jesus Christ in his beginning of his 30s of Jesus Christ, that we might have here generous hosts of members of Jesus Christ Saints experiencing gratitude for our translation to heaven's glory and ascension to heaven, or gratitude for all what we have, for the authority or the fullness of the authority of the priesthood of Lord Jesus Christ, for the authority uh, in this fullness of times, the fullness of the gospel and the story, and the fullness of authority we have. I bless you with the authority of the Holy Order